This week I competed in a 25k tournament in Tavira in Portugal. My first tournament since getting my first ATP point. Hopefully I can brave the qualies and try and make it through to the main draw. Let's see how it went. We arrived at the club on Saturday afternoon before the matches started on Sunday. I was practicing with my friend, just getting used to the courts, working a lot on serve return, just hitting a few balls for about 30-40 minutes. Since we've had a travel day, just want to get my rhythm again and hit a few balls before playing the next day, because the worst thing is going into a match super rusty. These courts were really nice. They were quite slow, quite bouncy, and obviously it was pretty hot, so the balls were definitely flying about all over the place. But overall, I really liked the courts, and I was looking forward to competing this week. So I just woke up here in Portugal, first day of quali, super excited. Just eating some cereal here, some stuff we bought from the local supermarket. Yeah, gonna go and head out for my first warm up here at 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this first match, coming off winning that first ATP point last tournament. There's a little bit of pressure to do well, but that's always a positive thing. 9 AM it was time for a warm-up. We were actually put at a different tennis club where the courts played completely differently. So welcome to the ITF Futures Tour, but essentially just did a pretty much basic match warm-up. I'm going to try and do my best to just put loads of first serves in, get lots of practice on the serve now, and just in the match, first few games, just find my rhythm, make a lot of balls, and then look to go for a bit more after that. So like I said, yeah, working a lot on the serve and return. Short points were going to be crucial. Being locked in on the serve and first ball is always what you want in the first round of qualies. Get out of the way, especially with 3 rounds of qualifying to get through to the main draw.
Yes guys, so I'm just waiting for my match. I'm next match on, so I'm going to be just monitoring the score and doing a physical warm-up when it gets to around 3 all in the second set, I think. These courts are a lot faster than the ones I practiced on yesterday, so it's going to be a lot about serve and volley and returning in, I think. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Also guys, if you enjoy this content, please help us out on the road to 200k subscribers by clicking that subscribe button. So we jump into my first round qualifying match here in Portugal. I was playing a Polish opponent who hadn't really known much about before this match. I said to myself, look, let's just be super consistent, super solid. And as you can see, the balls were pretty lively. It doesn't really come across as much on camera, but it was, getting the job done, kind of moving my opponent around the court, making sure that I'm hustling on those, balls where I'm pushed out wide, and just getting on the forehand as much as possible to try and dictate the point, mixing in the odd slice to just chip a ball in to see if he's going to be aggressive and see what he's going to do off that ball. But, good start being 2-love up, getting a break quite early on. As you can see here, 30-love up, so a chance to go 3-love up with a pretty comfortable lead. In, first round qualifying matches, that's always important, with 3 rounds of qualifying to get through to the main draw, all played over 3 days. You want to try and make sure that those matches are taking up as little of your energy as possible. I was definitely mixing in the serve and volley a lot as well. Definitely something I've been working on with my coach and incorporating that every now and again to keep my opponent guessing, but obviously also a great way to win the point. As you can see, my opponent putting in some winners there, but first set I played lights out, played really solid. Looking forward to come forward, close the net, and took the first set 6-1. I definitely wanted to make sure that the second set I had a very strong start. Definitely wanted to try and break my opponent early on to set the tone for the second set like we did in the first. You never know in these ITF matches whether your opponent's going to lose a little bit of confidence or lose a little bit of motivation if they've gone down a set. So you really got to make sure that you put the nail in the coffin to begin the second. So as you can see, not trying to go for too much, playing pretty unflashy tennis, but yeah, trying to just get the job done. I think that was one of the key things. My opponent whipping out a crazy behind the back shot there, but unfortunately not being able to win the point. Here at 2-1 going up an early break, I was definitely conscious that I wanted to try and close it out. I went 3-1 up here, and I think right at this point my opponent began to play better. He began to really hit his forehand and put me under a little bit more pressure and hit winners like that on the backhand. And I definitely knew that, okay, from this point onwards, just making the ball and putting it in and trying to outlast him isn't really going to work. So I decided to just try and put a little bit more pressure on him, try and go for a little bit higher risk shots, and try and hit the ball a little bit harder and a little bit more spin. And that was definitely a chance to kind of get the double break, but just missing that backhand wide. But I accepted it, it's fine. I'm still on serve, using those return games as an opportunity to get ahead and break. You can see me drawing him into the net quite a bit, and trying to get on the forehand as much as possible was just super important for me in this match. I've actually been working a lot on my backhand, so I feel so much more comfortable on it now. I just think my forehand's more of a weapon to be able to dictate the point. But as you can see, trying to going pretty central and then just phasing up on that backhand slice to try and come into the net, putting in a smash there, which probably wasn't great, and my opponent manages to lob me. Nevertheless, still win the game to go 4-2 up here. But, as you can tell, my opponent's hanging on in this set, putting a little bit more pressure on me than in the other sets, and, pulling out some really tough lobs. I was couldn't quite get to that one or the one before, and so, a bit demotivating. When your opponent's beginning to play better like that, suddenly putting me under some pressure, and now it's judgment time at 4-3, 30 all, to try and come up with the goods to put my opponent under pressure, because it could easily go 4 all here, and suddenly my opponent's back in it. But managed to put in a good service game and go 5-3 up here. Now it's all about trying to break my opponent to obviously win the match. 30-15, go with the big forehand, looking to just be as aggressive as possible. And on match point, I just say go for it. Managed to get the winner, which puts me through to the second round of qualifying here in Portugal.
Yes guys, so managed to get the win. I'm back at the room now. Really happy with my performance. I played a solid match. Good serving, good returning, making him play balls. The conditions were really tough because actually it was really hot, so the balls were just flying everywhere. So a lot of the time I was just going high spin back up the middle, trying to just make a lot of balls and put my opponent under pressure, which ended up working. I've also got to upload a video because it is Sunday for you guys. Make sure that goes out on time so that all is good there.
So that takes us to the second round of qualifying on the proper courts this time, against Francisco Oliveira, Portuguese player, roughly of a similar level to me. Played some really high quality matches that I'd seen. He goes to an American college, I think. I knew it was going to be a tough match. Now, our match was actually at 5 o'clock, but it was scheduled for like 6 or 7, but they'd said that they didn't have the floodlights, so I was actually asleep when I got a call from my dad saying I was on in about 5 to 10 minutes. So the preparation for this match was pretty abysmal, let me say that. I just came out a little bit groggy, a little bit slow, and I definitely think that, with these courts being a little bit slower, it was going to be all about manoeuvring the ball a little bit more, just making the ball, and my opponent did a really good job of putting that pressure on me from early on. He was really hitting the forehand well. He'd improved a lot since I'd seen him last in Castelo Branco in Portugal, where he made the semi-finals of the wildcard tournament. And yeah, definitely think that starting off was a few cagey games. I managed to go up 2-1, 30-15, good chance here maybe to try and get the break, just chipping that return in, looking for an opportunity to pass, but he hit a volley right into the corner there to take him to 40-30 up. I definitely felt that, in this first set, I just felt a little bit uncomfortable. I just wasn't moving how I usually would. I felt sluggish. I'm not sure what it was, but I knew that today was going to be tough. I knew that I had to try and find some sort of way of problem solving, whether it was coming forwards, whether it was finding a way to get in my opponent's head. He manages to get a break here, 3-2. Suddenly I'm down, and he's serving to go 4-2 up in this first set, and he's playing some really good tennis, aggressive tennis. And there wasn't really much I could do here. I definitely think I wasn't playing great on the day, and I think this is a perfect lesson of trying to figure out ways of how you can play your best on your worst days, because that's what some of the best players in the world do. But I think like that backhand, for example, just going slightly long, getting broken again and going 5-2 down. And this definitely wasn't a match where I necessarily felt like all of the points were bad. I just think that there are a few just loose, unforced errors like that backhand where, just wasn't able to keep the ball in enough to give myself the chance of winning the point. And, this second set, definitely wanted to try and get up early, try and hold my serve at least, having been broken twice in the previous set. I definitely think that in hindsight could have really, just had a bit more confidence in my shots. When I'm hitting the backhand like that, I'm winning the games. And, was getting a little bit frustrated actually in this beginning of the second set, because, barely ever have I in this year kind of lost a set as comfortably as 6-2, even against guys like 500 in the world. I'm losing 6-4, 6-4, or in 3 sets. So, it was a bit demotivating almost, second round qualies. But nevertheless, 1-1 in the second set. Just said to myself, look, let's fight. Let's find a way of coming back in this match, and really hustling for every single point, making my opponent play. As you can see, going down 4-1 in the second set. Now, it pains me almost to show matches where, I'm not playing great or I lose on the channel, but it's a great lesson. It's a great lesson not only for me to watch these matches back, but also to show that, tennis is a sport where you lose a lot. And some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. And this is, definitely not one of my better days, but, it gives you a good perspective of, what does my lowest level look like? Okay, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's, I've played worse or better, but how can I work on the things on my worst day to make it that average bottom level higher? And that's something I've been working with my coach on a lot in the last few weeks, having played this since playing this match. Is what can I work on? And I definitely think I've made some strides to improve some of the things that were costing me points in this match. And as you can see here, 6-2, 5-2 down. My opponent has match points. Definitely not my best day. My opponent beats me fair and square. Definitely not the result I wanted, having just got my first ATP point. So guys, that definitely wasn't my best performance there in Portugal. Unfortunately, losing 6-2, 6-2 in the second round of qualifying. I didn't make it into doubles that week, and it was long journey home to then try and regroup, refocus, and work on some of the things that I didn't really do that well. However, there were some key takeaways that I felt like I learned on how to improve my base level of tennis, which is always super important, and it's definitely a stepping stone in the right direction, because tennis isn't linear. It goes up and down. You'll have good moments, you'll have bad moments, and that's how tennis goes. You go from winning your first ATP point to losing in qualifying. Yeah, super excited to compete in some more tournaments. Hopefully can qualify for the main draw and get some more ATP points this year, with my goal being obviously top 1,000, which is going to take about 10 to 11 points by the end of next year. So I've set myself that goal in the future, and definitely think posting on YouTube probably is one of the best ways of getting over that loss, because now all of you guys can watch it and learn from it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.